We gotta do that again. Yes, that's all we want.
Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. All right. Thank you.
Original mural that was over by students. It said, police murders. Men killed, shot in the back. Police murder again. San Francisco Maritime General Strike. And when I took Uncle Bobby, Oscar Grant's uncle here, and he saw this, it was like kind of tears came to his eyes, and he came in and addressed the membership. And he told our membership, that's exactly what happened to my nephew. We voted unanimously to shut the court down and demand justice for the family of Oscar. So.
Yep, and we also, what year was that?
2010.
Yeah, 2010.
Howard Sperry was a veteran of World War I. Nicholas Bourgeois was a member of the Communist Party, and he was in the Marine Cooks and Stewards Union. A lot of people think 34 was a longshore strike. No, it was a maritime strike,
which included
seamen and longshore.
It's Mayday, representing the local. My name is Lolita. I'm Lolita Roberts. I'm a B member here, and this is Mayday. And I'm just here to support and I'm also security details. So, how you doing?
What does the ILW mean to you?
ILW means to me is strength in numbers. An injury to one is an injury to all. That's what ILW means to me. Support, local, unionized, strength. That's what it means.
Empower the working class?
Power of the working class. Right on.
I think I got here a year before he left the hall, so I don't know what to think. I did a fashion show with San Pedro at the Harry Bridges Institute, so I hear he did great things for the union.
Were you a longshoreman here?
I'm a longshoreman. I'm a 30-plus year longshoreman. I'm one of the few women that started way back in the day when the women weren't here.
What was that like?
Well, the old timers took good care of me. So I was like, you know, it was a good thing. Yeah, so it was really nice. I grew up with the old timers, so I learned a lot of the rules and regulations from back in the day.
And they fought for equality here. Is that?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to learn. You know, we have some people that have different ideas and different things like on what life should be or how things go. I don't know about all that. I just know I'm here. I've learned how to operate all the equipment, so I'm just, how you say, winding it down.
You're an old timer yourself?
Yeah, I am. Isn't that something? It's rough too.
Without a union.
Huh?
Without a union, how? If you didn't have a union here, you think you would have been able to get as far as you have?
Without the union? Well, I worked in the shipyard, so I'm a ship fitter by trade and a welder, so I have skills. I have a lot of skills that I did before I got here, so it fitted right in, and I worked steady for the shipyard. So,
what do you think of the ILWU?
It's different. It's a lot of people. I saw how the shipyards went, you know, like AAA and stuff like that. So it still existed for a long time since it started. So hopefully it'll be here for a long time to come. Mechanization is coming in, but oh well, you know, education and training will take care of all that. And you see all the ships out there in the water, huh? So that means we're going to have a lot of work to do. So that means employment for a lot of people too, and the community as well.
Okay, and the Port of Oakland privatization of the Howard Terminal, what do you think of that? We're trying to privatize that?
I ain't got nothing to say about how.
Okay.
Because I hear the scuttlebutt about what's going on, but it's not all over till the fat lady sings, right? Because we as a union have a say-so about the last part of it. It's all about unity and sticking together and have a working situation, and the employer come together with the employees, and we make it happen and make it a good place to live for us and a good jobs for the community, you know, and for the other ports.
My name is Imani Trias. I'm a B member with ILWU. 10/18/65 is the plug, and it's my first time with the Mayday, and learning a lot. Learning a lot. So there's a lot of rich history here. There's a lot of history that needs to be remembered. So some things can never be repeated, and some things we learn, and some things we grow from. So it's nice to see. It's good to see all the members gathered here together to enjoy this rich history and to be involved and part of it, because the things that we used back in the day we need today. We need strong unions. We need strong voices in the union movement to come out and speak out and for our future, for our children's future. And it's more relevant today than more necessary, more relevant today than it was back then. So.
And the attack on workers, the pandemic, Trump, it seems like everything's hitting.
Right, all at once, right? All at once. There's movements across the country, union busting movements. A lot of the people forget a lot of the benefits that workers enjoy today is because of this movement, because of the workers' movement. You know what I mean? Employers, and they don't want to give you anything, right? So you have to fight, you have to march, you have to join together, stronger together, right? So that's why it's so important.
So the ILWU is going to be leading the march here in San Francisco on May Day. You think there's a reason for that?
I think there's a reason because of the history. We were the original leaders of this march, and then so we're trying to repeat with the history.
Bring back Mayday.
And bring back Mayday and lead it again today.
Michael O'Sullivan. I live in Denver, Colorado now.
And you came out to here, San Francisco, for Mayday?
I came out, yeah. Jack Heyman let me know about the march, and by golly, I decided to come out and, of course, visit my children too.
So you're a member of Local 10. What was that like, and a railway worker as well?
Yeah, I worked out of Local 10. Worked at the Ship Scalers Union first, so I got casual work out of Local 10, and then I let that go in the 70s because work slowed down so badly, and I went to work for the railroad, and I came back and re-registered as a longshoreman with a new number, and did 20 years altogether as a longshoreman.
Great. And what do you think about Mayday?
Oh, great. It's great to be out here. I haven't been in San Francisco for about 2 years, so it's a real special thing to be here.
Gather around. It's your last opportunity. All right, you guys. The reason I asked you to gather around is because I want to give a very warm Local 10, ILWU Local 10 welcome to Sister Angela Davis. Okay. Now, if there's anybody here, is there anybody here that doesn't know the history of this young woman?
I like it.
Okay, and her contribution to the activist movement here in the Bay Area. Is there anybody that doesn't know? Please raise your hand, because I don't think I need to spend the time to tell you the work that this young woman has done. And we appreciate you here at Local 10. For those of you who don't know the history, in 1972, the first black president of the ILWU Local 10 brought a motion to this local for her defense committee. And this local was instrumental in her defense case back in 1972. So we're proud of that history also. And we're also proud of all of the history that we've done here as far as the social justice movement. So we want to welcome Sister Angela Davis, and to say that we're proud that she's marching with us with the ILWU contingent here for May Day 2021.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
You want to say anything?
Well, it's an honor to be here. My heart has always been with ILWU. There were many organizers from this union who fought for my freedom, and I wouldn't be standing here this morning if not for your work. But thank you for holding up the flag of struggle.
Yeah.
And we will end racism, and we will eventually overturn capitalism.
Yeah! Right on, and the ILWU is going to help her.
My name is Junior, and my plug number is 101445. I'm here representing the ILWU workforce. It's been a pleasure being with them, and
You love being a longshoreman.
yes, sir. I mean,
Why is that?
why is that? Well, Because of the freedom that we have, the accessibility, the job. You can choose whatever job you want. It's different every day, so it's like you're not stuck in a routine, and you got all these great work brothers and sisters that you work with, and I mean, what can you ask for? You know, now these days, you're working for a company, it's just paying the butt, you know. So that's why
You believe all working people should have the same thing?
we're all jobs should be equally, you know. They should be fair, you know, good paid, good benefits, you know, and everybody will be excited like me.
Be a better world.
A better world, you know. What else can you ask for, you know? A lot of jobs like to oppress people, you know. Work them a lot of hours, underpaid, under benefits. It's like I'm just grateful to be with this union. You know, it's one of the best unions we have in the whole West Coast, I guess, you know, or even the whole world. No, I won't go that far, but, you know.
You're here on Mayday.
I'm here on Mayday, you know.
The ILWU is going to be leading the march?
Yes, sir. We're going to have a motorcycle parade, you know, leading the march. So hopefully all my brothers on the bikers show up anytime soon. So hopefully it turns out to be a great day. Especially hopefully the sun comes out. It's kind of cold.
How long have you worked as a longshoreman?
So far, 10 years.
You love it.
I love it. I love it. I can't ask for nothing else. You know, I had so many jobs in my past, good jobs, but not like this one. So I'm grateful. God has blessed me with a good job. I think He put me on the right path.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm a second generation. My dad just retired about 4 years ago, and then I have my daughter working with us also. So it's also a family union, you know. You get to work with family, so that's great.
Deeply indebted to her. She did whatever was required. Editing, I call her the comma queen, because in terms of finding all of the grammatical errors and other things, punctuations.
Women move this world.
Well, but first, this book is self-published. We had to go through Amazon because Simon & Schuster, Viking, Little Brown Book, nobody would have published this book, because this is a book from a rank and filer of ILWU Local 10, which has been in the vanguard of the labor movement in the fight for African Americans, the working class at home and abroad, and the oppressed. And I think it's only fitting that someone like myself, who's a third-generation longshore worker, whose grandfather came on the waterfront in 1944, do something. This is our history, Steve. You and Cosme and the Labor Video Project and so many others are part of the things that we talk about in this anthology. The Million Worker March, which was assembled in 2004 in opposition to the Democratic Party and the officialdom of labor. They didn't want it. They did everything they could to stop it, and they could not. Mayday 2008, Oscar Grant, October 23rd, 2010. Occupy 2011. Block the Boat, We Are One. All of this history is recorded in the anthology called Mobilizing in Our Own Name. And we're excited about it. Danny Glover has written a blurb about the book, and he said one of the things that was accomplished is that I did something that a lot of us have talked about doing, and that's doing a book. And it's so important for young people to learn from our struggles and the independence of our struggles and the courageousness. Sister Angela Davis was just here a few moments ago, talking about the importance of the ILWU fighting for her when she was a political prisoner, and the resolution that was introduced by Cleophas Williams, the first African American president of Local 10, calling for her release and justice for her. The courageous stands. We can go back to Harry Bridges, we can, Leo Robinson, Howard Keeler. The names go on of rank and filers who have contributed so much to the struggle, who we acknowledge in this book. This anthology is very important, and I'm so glad. I've become very philosophical as a result of doing this book, Steve. What I mean by that is, if I should die tomorrow, at least this book is done so that people can learn from our struggles, and it's documented. So many of us say, we don't have time to write a book because we don't have time to look back. We're moving forward. I understand that. But these experiences that we've had can't be taken to the grave with us. We have to be able to share them with younger people.
The effort to crush the ILWU, the witch hunts, which really, they wanted to get rid, sanitize the labor movement, the working class. So you didn't have a conscious labor movement.
When people raise the question, they say, well, the Million Worker March, you can't have a local union making a call for a national mobilization. And we said, why not? But that could only have happened here at ILWU Local 10. All of the experience that you just reflected on in terms of the witch hunts, the blacklisting, the 4 trials to put Harry Bridges out of the country, the threats of lawsuits during the 1984 11-day South African cargo boycott, where thousands of dollars were going to be levied against people like Leo Robinson, Howard Keeler, and others. These men stood up, and I don't think that we could have done the Million Worker March without that history. 1967, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King spoke here at this hall, and he said he was not a stranger. He felt like he was very much a part of the ILWU because of the support that Local 10 had given him and the SCLC during the Civil Rights Movement.
This is when the FBI and the government were trying to crush him and spying on him?
Less than 7 months later, he was dead. He was assassinated. But he came here. And one of the things that he talked about was how the civil rights activists learned about the sit-ins from the sit-down strike in 1937 with the UAW workers in Flint, Michigan. And he talked about how the same people who opposed the civil rights movement are the forces that oppose the labor movement. And how the labor movement and the civil rights movement, and I'm going to paraphrase, he said they represented the bulwark of democracy. And he also talked about having a national guaranteed income. And he said poverty was not limited to the unemployed. He said because most workers, and particularly black workers at that time, were in poverty even though they had jobs.
That's today. People are working full-time, double jobs, triple jobs, and still in poverty. Nothing's changed.
Nothing has changed. If anything, as you mentioned earlier, the COVID-19 pandemic has exposed the underbelly of capitalism. Let's talk about a multi-billionaire in Oakland who wants to build a baseball park, 34,000-seat baseball park, 3,000 skybox high-end condominiums, 1.9 million square feet of commercial and retail space, and a 400-room hotel at the 3rd busiest port in the on the West Coast. This is what John Fisher is trying to do. And so when you think about capitalism running amok, all the income inequality, the systemic racism, it's so bad, even Joe Biden, the president of the United States, is talking about white supremacy. He's not doing it because he wants to. He's doing it because he's forced to, based upon the international outcry of George Floyd and all of the other murders at the hands of the police by African Americans and people of color. He's forced to talk about these things. So this isn't a case of him doing this because he wants to. He's a corporate, so-called moderate Democrat. But because people are in the streets, because people are shutting down ports, like we did in the case of Juneteenth last year, 2020. And as we're doing today, on Mayday 2021, the port is shut down. ILWU Local 10, once again in the vanguard, leading the way.
My name is Jose Carlos. I am from the American Postal Workers Union Local 2 in San Francisco. So we are here to join the big celebration of the May Day, a big historic day, very important for the labor movement, and we need to do more things for the labor movement to keep all the benefits and, trying to gain more money for us.
And what do postal workers face? You're under attack, they tried to shut down?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, especially in San Francisco, they're planning to closing down the ISC facility, that's the airport. So the union is trying to get it together so to stop that closure. I guess this is part of the new postmaster strategy, to close and slow down the mail process. So, but we are here, the union, the workers, to stop that and continue to keep, post office forever.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And what union?
American Postal Workers Union, San Francisco Local 2.
Yeah, Richard Stone, American Postal Workers Union.
And what's going on here today? Why are you out here on May Day? What are the issues for you?
Well, the issues to me is just the amongst other things, just the ongoing, need for more job security and more lately, safety, safety and numbers in the workplace has been a really thorny issue with the APWU. The Industrial Relations Department of the APWU, just recently gave Post Office Management and Safety an F-, grade. And they are currently, I talked to one of the national business agents, so I know that that there's a work in progress. And in my case specifically, to hire more custodians, but more in general, to hire more maintenance workers, and to make sure that they use the proper guidelines.
And you've taken up Assange, Julian Assange. What does he have to do with Mayday?
Well, Assange has always been a champion, of labor, the workforce in general. So I think
you got the labor.
What's that?
You got the Labor Council to pass a resolution.
Yes. We did back in I believe it was February 2019. We passed a resolution in order to recognize the extent of his plight, to make sure that he doesn't get extradited over here to America and just to free him anyway. So there's no reason why that he should be held over there for any reason. They should have let him out a long time ago.
That's right. Yeah, John Holmes, and we're here with the Peralta Federation of Teachers contingent, such as it is, all four of us on the Executive Council, actually. And
May Day, what does it mean to you, and what does it mean to working people today, teachers and others?
May Day is the Workers' Day, not Labor Day, but May Day, going back to 1886, the fight for the 8-hour day. It's an additional day for the labor movement and the social movement to stand together and fight for what's right.
And COVID, how has COVID affected education workers?
Terribly. It's effectively, especially the lockdowns. Like I teach history at Merritt College, and what with the lockdowns and the schools closed, black and minority students, poor students are, they're not as familiar with the online setup as are your more upwardly movable white middle class students. So it's been disastrous. And it's something we got to get rid of.
And you have a Mumia button on? What does Mumia have to do with May Day?
Mumia's got everything to do with May Day, because he is the world's most well-known political prisoner fighting for the rights of all working people. And absolutely. And he was a leader of the Black Panther Party, and the racist U.S. government has been trying to kill him for many years. If the black movement and the labor movement don't stand together, they'll fall separately.
Sal Roselli, President of the National Union of Healthcare Workers.
And we're here today, San Francisco May Day. Why is your union out here today, and what are the issues that you feel are critical for working people?
Well, we're out here because finally it's somewhat safe You know, our members are vaccinated, our staff are vaccinated. So the first time in 14 months, right, we're not facing devastating news every day, just hoping that everyone gets vaccinated so that that progress can continue. You know, our number one issue is Medicare for all. We've been working on it for years, and the pandemic has shed light on the inequities in healthcare in terms of access and quality to people of color communities, to poor people. And the only solution to that is Medicare for all. And even people with insurance, right? When this pandemic started, you know, we were in a place of what we describe as just-in-time inventory in the hospitals, just-in-time staffing, just-in-time PPE. So no one was ready for this pandemic, and it's been a year of absolute chaos. So our hope is that this pandemic has shed light on how broken our healthcare system is, and the only solution is Medicare for all.
You think that the profit gets in the way of Medicare for all?
Oh, it's all about profit, right? That's even non-profit hospitals. Their focus is the bottom line, not providing adequate, appropriate care.
And what do you say to the rest of the workers of America? You think that they need a union? You think that they have to mobilize to get what they need?
Yeah, I think that all workers need a union, and hopefully with the Biden administration, and hopefully he'll lead on, you know, passing reform so that the playing field will be level for workers to be able to join a union. So I think it's all up from here. In terms of healthcare, you know, we're like experiencing a huge growth in leads and people wanting to join, healthcare workers wanting to join the union, and it's primarily because we've demonstrated over this last year how we had to fight employers to get tested, fight hospital employers to get appropriate PPE. So it can imagine.
It's a life and death question.
You know, these hospitals, these employers, these executives don't care about patients. They don't care about the workers taking care of them. In fact, one CEO said to me off the record, it's the cost of doing business, the fact that people are infected and people are dying. We had a horrendous time getting hospital workers tested. You know, when finally there were enough tests, when professional athletes were getting tested every day to stay safe, and colleges were testing their students weekly to stay safe, hospital workers couldn't get tested by their employers.
The lessons of Mayday.
Yeah.
I'm Chile. I'm in Oakland, OEA, Oakland Education Association.
And what does Mayday mean to you?
Oh, everything. Everything. Excited to be here representing our union. Think about our students, especially those that are in like low-income area, see how it affected them, making sure that they have the right supplies and tools to be online, to conduct online learning, make sure there was equality amongst our students.
Okay, thank you. How long have you been a teacher?
I've been a teacher since 2009.
Has this been the worst year of your life?
Well, the COVID, not being able to teach the beautiful children that we serve, yes, it has been challenging for us.
Mayday means that this is the workers' day. The workers are standing up for what we've always done, and that is fighting for justice, that is fighting for 8-hour pay, that's fighting for our rights. Democracy. We fighting against this damn recall. It's a damn setup from the right wing.
What are the conditions for hospital workers, healthcare workers?
The conditions are we have to steady fight to make sure that we have PPE. We have to steady make sure we're fighting against a merger against UCSF, that we are recognized, and this is not a merger but affiliation, so we're fighting for our jobs. We're from Oakland, UCSF Children's Hospital.
What happened in Chile? Many things are happening in Chile today because we are in the middle of this pandemic situation, so the government is doing really not good for the workers, and our situation is critical in Chile right now. Many workers are in a strike right now. So we are here because we are trying to save them, then we are with them. Ya, nosotros somos trabajadores chilenos aquí en San Francisco, estamos en apoyo a las movilizaciones de los trabajadores de la conmemoración de este día. pero al mismo tiempo queremos mandar un mensaje de apoyo a las organizaciones populares de trabajadores en Chile que están en huelga, en un strike, porque estamos con un gobierno que viola los derechos humanos y que tiene cero legitimidad en la ciudadanía. Y nosotros somos la cuna del neoliberalismo y los trabajadores tenemos que estar unidos en contra del neoliberalismo.
60 people have lost one eye because the police shoot at their faces. Very similar to the times of Pinochet.
We're here to support the PRO Act and to be in solidarity with all the unions out today, and we're very much in alignment, and we just want to show up our support.
What is Sunrise?
Sunrise is a youth climate activist organization and a youth movement, and we're promoting climate justice and a Green New Deal and good jobs for all.
I'm Ramona. We're here in support of workers today on Mayday and education workers in particular.
What union are you a member of?
I'm with the UC-AFT. We are the lecturers and librarians at UC. And I'm here in conjunction with the City College people. And I'm just happy to be out supporting everyone today.
The Regents, UC Management?
Yeah, what about them?
What are they doing?
They're stonewalling us and making the lecturers go through bargaining for 2 years. No job security whatsoever. They won't pass anything across the table. They're totally unreasonable.
Is that union busting?
Absolutely, of course it is. Oh my gosh.
Why should? Who do they represent? It's a public institution.
The regents? That's a good question. Who do the regents represent? I don't know. Themselves. I don't know.
Hi, my name is Charles Minster, retired trade unionist, here to support the struggle of workers around the world and to put forward other ideas of revolution. It's been over almost 150 years since the founding of Mayday, and we still do not have a workers' party in this country. And right now the labor bureaucrats are deeply in the pockets of the Democratic Party, and the Democratic Party is right now the mainstay of capitalism in this country. So, we need a political party that represents the workers' interest, and the workers' interest is to take power in its name. Capitalism can no longer meet the needs of society, and it must be replaced.
My name is Roger Marenko, President, Transport Workers Union Local 250A here in the city and county of San Francisco.
And why are you here on Mayday? What's Mayday mean to you?
The reason I'm here for Mayday is because Mayday represents unions, Mayday represents workers, Mayday represents the labor movement, meaning everything from fair wages, living wages, good health care, benefits, etc. That's the reason I'm out here, supporting the labor movement.
And this has been a terrible thing, this COVID. How has it affected your members? How many members have you lost?
We've lost many members, way too many. One is always way too many members. Our service levels have dropped tremendously. The public transportation is at risk of actually failing in terms of its downward spiral that it's currently facing, but we are doing anything and everything possible to bring back public transportation in a safe, reliable manner as soon as possible.
You think it's time for a labor party?
Say it again?
You think it's time for a labor party?
This is a labor party. That's why we're out here.
All right, my name is Gerald. I'm a member of the Oscar Grant Committee Against Police Brutality and also the Labor Action Committee to Free Mumia. We have, as the Labor Action Committee to Free Mumia, has been working with the longshoremen for decades.
And they supported Mumia?
Oh, yes.
Why does the ILWU support Mumia?
You know, I can't say why every member, but we did a lot of work. We used to give classes at the Union Hall for longshoremen that were interested. The interest rate was very high. That's why we went there. We showed films, you know, we tried to explain what was going on, and they actually stopped work April 24th, 1999, up and down the coast. So that was the extent, that was the highest level of our activity. But ever since then, they have consistently supported Mumia Abu-Jamal.
And you're marching with the ILWU today?
That is correct. We're marching right behind them, you know, recognizing that in fact, what they accomplished in 1934 is very important still today.
Okay, thank you.
Phelps from the School Bus Drivers Union, and we're here to be represented on the Mayday parade.
And what's happening with the school bus drivers in San Francisco?
Well, the contract was recently awarded to Zoom, so we're looking into transitioning over there, and they're going to have school buses, and they say they're going to honor our contract and prevailing wages and benefits. And that's what we're dealing with. It's a little crazy.
Zoom, aren't they like Uber?
They are, but they say they're going to they're transitioning into school bus companies, so they're going to get all brand new school buses, and I think there are going to be some white vans for emerging needs because the school district has approved it.
How could they approve?
Well, we don't know. We were down at the school board. We definitely made speeches against it, but we did not prevail right now. So we'll see what happens.
What does Mayday mean to you?
It means unions. We need more unions in this country. We need stronger unions. People to come out. We're losing our union rights and privileges in this country, and we need to come together.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm a member of UPTI, rank and file member of UPTI, and also a delegate to the SF Labor Council. Today, the 5 major Bay Area labor councils have called on a Mayday strike to pass the PRO Act, which is a bill that's in the Senate right now, which would provide a federal guarantee for the rights to unionize and would outlaw the stuff that the Amazon company did to the workers in Alabama, and would provide a certain, make things a little bit easier for workers to be able to vote in a union. It's just one of the cornerstones of what's considered the Work First agenda, and we have a long way to go because in reality, we're facing, many workers in the United States are facing privatization.
And is it privatization at UC? Are you facing privatization at UC?
Well, we've been facing privatization issues or outsourcing at UC for quite some time now. It's been a long-term problem, and unfortunately, our contracts allow what's called management rights, which allows management to do things according to their business interest. So,
who do the regents represent?
Well, if you ask me, I think the regions represent the major economic
the billionaires,
yeah, the billionaires, exactly. We have Dianne Feinstein's husband, Richard Blum, is one of the members of the regents. We faced a possible reopener of our pensions and our wages. Luckily, on October 30th, 5 p.m., the reopener was not initiated, so we believe that our contract that was signed in 2019, and it took 2 years of update to be able to strike, to be able to have, we are happy that our contract is for now secure. However, that doesn't mean that we have to sit on our laurels. We're going to have to continue fighting to preserve our pension because they've been after our defined benefit pension plan for quite some time, and they've been trying to create an opt-out version of a defined contribution plan.
And today there's a general strike in Chile?
Well, today there's not a general strike in Chile today, but during this past week there have been general strikes, what's called work stoppages. During the past week, during 7 shifts, the 7,000 port workers went on strike in 34 terminals and 19 ports. And then also on April 30th, the workers of healthcare and public sector and teachers unions, as well as social organizations, went out into the streets and had what's also called work stoppage from their work sites or from home. And so yes, they did that, and they did that primarily because the Piñera government sent to the Constitutional Tribunal his refusal to allow the workers to have an early withdrawal of their own retirement savings. Now, the workers of Chile are asking that they won the victory, but that's really only a bittersweet victory because they're asking for a basic universal income, a tax on the rich, and an end to the privatized pension systems that have been prevalent in Chile that was imposed upon them by the Pinochet regime almost 50 years ago.
Which was supported by the U.S. government.
Which was supported by the U.S. government. And the pension plans, by the way, or this retirement accounts are paid for, are owned by mostly American companies.
My name's Evan Kaiser and I teach ESL at College of San Mateo. I'm here today to fight for better working conditions for working people everywhere, specifically part-time teachers who make up 70% of the national workforce at higher ed. The only way quality education is possible is because of the sacrifices and the extra labor they're doing without being compensated.
Are teachers under attack? Public education under attack?
Generally, yeah, I would say so. Yeah, there's interests that don't want to invest in community and invest in the public good, and that's why we're here today, to show that things like education, things like healthcare are public goods that deserve more money and attention.
We're here on Mayday because I think it's important for all the workers of the world to show solidarity for the situation that capitalism has caused, where billions are sick, millions are dying, and millions of unnecessary deaths are so preventable, but they are not preventable under capitalism, and we have to fight for communism.